So this wing was actually used as a tuberculosis hospital. That's why a lot of the psychics talk about there's a lot of children's spirits here. They put a lot of elderly and children up and a lot of people died. It feels like somebody laying on top of you, can't move, I'm trying to scream, like the scariest fear, you know, I can't even describe it.
We didn't sleep all night. We heard heavy footsteps up here, and there's no room above us, there's no room on the side of us, there's no room anywhere, it's totally isolated. We said, we're out of here, I can't sleep.
There are certain events that seem to leave an imprint on our world.
They've probably seen hanging.
In fact, yes.
Something just came in the room with us.
Laborers worked here, lived here, died here. And if we can get across to the cemetery, they're buried.
Countless numbers of people have reported unexplainable encounters with those that have passed on.
Did you see that light down at the middle? Are you playing games with us?
This was the embalming room in the elevator and bring them back to the basement, where they would stack them before the service.
Many fear the unknown. Some will travel far and wide in search of an unknown ghost. Follow Brandon Alvis, Michael Rudy, Bruno Huerta, and Matt Goldman into the most highly active historical locations across the United States. Investigate untold stories that will be brought to life on Haunted Discoveries. The Glen Tavern Inn, located in Santa Paula, California, has played host to countless souls as a place of rest over its many years. But there is a darker history that is well known by the owners and employees of this Tudor-style inn. Built in 1911, the Glen Tavern Inn celebrated its centennial in 2011. Designed by the prestigious architectural firm Burns & Hunt, the structure has witnessed the many changes of the 20th century and played a part in that history. In Hollywood's early years, Santa Paula was a favorite filming locale. However, it was the use of the third floor as a gambling parlor, house of ill repute, and secret speakeasy during the Prohibition that spawned much of the murderous and bloody history that will haunt the Glen Tavern Inn forever.
So we're here with JJ, and you've lived in the building for 4 years, these
4 years, yeah.
And you've had some pretty unique experiences within the building.
Yeah, like I looked it up, it's called sleep paralysis, where basically you fall asleep and you wake up panicked, paralyzed, and like terrified. And the first time was in 2018. It was my first night ever at the inn, and it happened, and I was with my bandmates, and I'm sitting there, I wake up paralyzed, trying to scream at the top of my lungs, I can't, there's like a shadow over me. And there's been many guests that have reported this. Our assistant manager it's happened to. Science tries to debunk it as like, you know, when you fall asleep, you release melatonin so that you won't act out your dreams, but it's like, it's a lot more than that. It's happened one other time where I just tried to ignore it, and then I fell asleep, and then the third time it happened, I was lying next to my girlfriend, and it happened to me, and then I heard this little girl say, I'm in the hallway. And like I didn't see her, but I could like feel her there, and I couldn't move, and I'm trying to scream for my girlfriend, and so I started to breathe really heavy.
Right.
And at that point, she like touched my arm, and I shot up and was like, you know, freaking out. Right. So.
What would you say is the most common report within the Glen Tavern Inn?
The most common report is seeing kids or sleep paralysis, and it's usually people's like first time to the inn. I don't know if they're being like checked out or what, but that's a common occurrence. The whole third floor has this dense, heavy vibe. That's like the only way to put it. Like when you get to the third floor, it just feels like there's like pressure on your whole body. And 307 though, this whole side of the inn was a brothel back during Prohibition. There was prostitution and you know, illegal drinking and all that stuff. And the legends are about a prostitute that was beheaded and a cowboy that was shot in the head. And we found a hat in the walls with a bullet hole in it, and we had it in our display case, and it was stolen 3 years ago.
We're about to go inside the Glen Tavern Inn and go to these locations where he's experienced paranormal activity within the building. So we're going to go ahead and follow him and see what exactly happened and where it happened.
This wing was actually used as a tuberculosis hospital. I don't know the exact dates, but that's why a lot of the psychics talk about there's a lot of children's spirits here, because they put a lot of the elderly and children up, and a lot of people died. A lot of psychics report in this room that there's an elderly gentleman still here, and he's really protective of the room, and he's like tall with long face, and that he feels kind of like a keeper of this place, and so this is kind of his room. Yeah.
So this is 218.
So right before you guys came, I mean, you can still smell the fresh paint.
Yeah.
It was like this really weird like seafoam green, which just added to like the weirdness of it. But I mean, this is where it happened. It was our first night here. All my bandmates were staying here, and we're all passed out, and I'm laying, and I wake up. I don't even know what time it was at that point, but at first I was confused, like, you know, what's happening, and then I tried to tag my bandmate and couldn't move, and then felt this feels like somebody laying on top of you, can't move. I'm trying to scream, like the scariest like fear, you know, I can't even describe it. And then the next morning, like I don't even remember. I remember it lasted so long that I just eventually fell asleep because I didn't know what else to do. And the next morning I woke up like, what the hell happened, you know? And then when we moved in here, more reports started to turn up, and that's when I experienced it. Like it was probably like 6 months later, and then a few months after that. So it's pretty bizarre, but that's like a regular occurrence here.
And you've never had anything like that?
Never in my life. And I know some people have, you know, throughout their lives or whatever, but it's only happened here. Yeah. And it's just been really bizarre.
And that's a common report in this room?
Yeah, this room especially, but just the whole hotel. This couch has it's one of the original couches.
Oh, really? So this is the original piece?
Yeah, original piece. And there's a psychic back east who came to visit that was telling us before she even came, she pictured this sofa on this floor, and that there's a spirit that hangs out here that's really protective. And I don't know if it's the same one from 218 or what, but.
So this was the area where during the Prohibition there was illegal gambling and a speakeasy.
Yeah, and so a lot of the original furniture back when it was kind of the slummy apartments, a lot of it was stolen. Most of it was stolen, the original lighting and the furniture, which is too bad.
That's unfortunate, man.
Yeah, but there are still some, you know, pieces we have around.
This is the
jam
room.
This is the infamous room. And when you walk in, you go down just this like long, narrow hallway, and it's almost you're so segregated from the rest of the hotel in like your little room. It's really trippy. A lot of people have experienced things. I myself haven't, but it just has this like really weird vibe. It's the only way you can really put it.
If you can put that into one word, what would you say? What would you say about 307 in one word?
Just depressing.
Depressing.
It really is. It just has this like heavy energy where you just kind of just like somber in that room, man. It really is. And it's funny because there's a lot of light in this room from the skylight in the bathroom, so it's a comfortable room, but it just has this vibe.
So I had balloons all over the living room and the bar area, and we were just hanging out here, and one of the balloons in particular kept, like a little kid pulling it, that's what I felt like, and letting go, and it kept doing that throughout the day. Just that one particular balloon, and it was traveling, and all the other balloons were around and they were not moving.
And I had asked her because I figured maybe AC's on, or especially balloons around or whatever, or just that certain balloon, but I even turned off the AC just to make sure.
And it was still moving?
Yeah, at times.
It's like it was getting pulled and let go, and it was bouncing up and down on the ceiling. It was moving, and all the other balloons were not moving at all.
And one time there was a guest who actually had left her favorite pillow here. And so I had to come up and find it for her. And I'd never been in that closet before, and so I didn't know which key it was. And so I was sitting there going through all the keys. There's about 20 keys on the ring. And I just started feeling like this weird energy in my peripheral. It was probably the weirdest thing I ever felt. And it kept going and going, and I just started sweating and sweating and sweating. And then I heard this loud bang come from here, from 218. And it was, and I'm telling you, it was loud. It sounded like the TV had fallen out of the armoire. It was pretty freaky. So I just said, you know what? There's no pillow in that closet. So I went back down. I said, no, I'm sorry, I didn't find your pillow. And it really freaked me out. Yeah. And so I'd come up here later just to make sure everything was okay, and nothing had moved in the room. Nothing was broken, damaged, anything. Everything was fine. So it was several months after that, I was showing a group of college kids from the Thomas Aquinas College here in town around. And we came here, and I was standing right outside of 218, and I told them the exact same story. I started feeling this weird energy, I started to sweat, and then I heard this loud bang. But before I could say the word bang, the light bulb and the light fixture actually blew up and dropped to the ground.
So it blew up, and when you say blew up, it actually like exploded?
It didn't, like the glass, like the bulb itself didn't explode. It was like a light, an energy, like the light energy, just kind of an expansion of the light, and it just dropped to the ground. The bulb still stayed there, and it just dropped to the ground.
And so the bulb was intact?
It was, yeah.
Man.
As the light faded, it was time to let the structure tell its story.
All right, so we're here in the room of 210, I guess, where some reports of activity have taken place. So we're going to take this stationary camera here. We're going to set this up in the room while myself and Bruno head to 307. Michael and Matt are going to be in 218. So here we go.
The infamous room 307.
It's a lot heavier.
Yeah.
That would be freaked out. I could see a reflection of myself right on the IR, and I'm always one of those people who like expect to pan over a thing and see somebody else in the mirror with me.
Right.
That would be.
I do the same thing when I look in. I know I do the same thing when I look in mirrors.
Okay, this is starting the session on the Alesis. We have the Alesis running, Sony running, camera, motion sensor. Matthew Goldman has a recorder running. And we are in room 218 of the Glen Tavern Inn.
Alright, we're going to do some short burst EVP sessions in this room. Again, this is a room where a murder took place. A man and a woman were shot to death in the Prohibition era. So we're going to do some short burst EVP sessions. So basically what we're going to do is try and communicate with anything that may be here, might be here. And we're going to use these digital recorders to try and capture the voices of spirits, if you will, ghosts, disembodied voices. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Is there anyone in here with us right now? My friend Matthew says he feels some sort of presence in here, right?
Yeah, I felt like I walked in on you earlier. Sorry about that. I don't know if you're using the sink or getting dressed. Or in the bathroom. And I think we may have startled you, so I came back to apologize.
I want to come step in this closet.
Would you be okay if we open this closet door?
Okay, we're going to open the closet door. If you're in there, please speak with us. It's like really cold in there.
It is, man. I got the chills when I open that thing.
Yeah.
Here, hold this. Grab the camera.
We're grabbing Brandon's mic. I want to come step in this closet where you're supposedly found. I want to come step in this closet where you're supposedly found. I get that sick feeling in my stomach.
Dude.
My arms are tingling.
After collecting this unexplained voice, Bruno's body immediately became aware of the change in the environment. Was this the voice of the man that was shot to death in this room? While investigating in 218 and 307, the stationary camera in 210 was collecting data we have never experienced before. Note, the two separate devices malfunctioning at the same time while unexplained movement was recorded. Michael decided to investigate room 307 by himself. This was the room where a double murder took place in the Prohibition era.
I get a very uncomfortable feeling being in this room. I just really do. I just get the feeling like they're just like looking at me, wanting me to leave. I mean, you know, my presence here is very, very unwanted. That's what I get. Every time I turn my back, I feel like someone's looking at me and glaring at me to leave. I'm gonna go in here. I apologize if you really don't want me to come in here, but I have a job to do, okay? And part of my job is coming in and trying to talk to you.
During Michael's time alone in 307, we set up a stationary camera in 218 to collect further data.
To whoever's in here, can you give me a sign that you're in here with me? I keep getting the mental image of, like, that I'm gonna be in here and that door's gonna open and there's gonna be somebody standing there, because I can't express enough how unhappy I would be if that door opened and anybody aside from Brandon, Bruno, or Matthew were standing there.
After Michael's session, he went to room 218 to retrieve the stationary camera. The data we were about to collect takes this investigation to the next level.
Oh my god, oh my god.
We were engulfed within the history of this century-old inn when something startling occurred in room 307.
Sitting here in this closet, where reportedly 2 bodies were found. I feel a little bit uneasy. Is that you doing that to me? Can you do or say something so we can detect your presence, please? Was that you that made that noise out there? Can you make that noise again?
What the Dude.
I saw that flash.
That was the motion sensor.
Just flashed, huh?
Yeah. I've never seen one do that.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What are you feeling?
I feel there's just this energy all around my body and something took a step towards me. You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Is that you? Can you say something into this device? Oh my god, the motion detector just went off, dude.
I saw it, okay.
She pictured this sofa on this floor and that there's a spirit that hangs out here that's really protective.
Setting a motion-detected trap camera on the 3rd floor, we collected a white mist that moves through the frame. Was this the spirit that protects this area of the inn?
We were told earlier about a report of the sensation of a coldness that followed 2 people over in this area towards the bed. And they also had balloons set up because they were having anniversary. And apparently one of the balloons was grabbed by something and taken around the room. Consistently. So we have some balloons over here set up, and we're trying to see if anyone in here would like to try and grab one of these balloons. I'm gonna record, dude. I'm gonna quit playing.
I'm recording right now.
Alright, you are?
I'm going to.
Okay, you start recording. If there's a little girl in here, or a little boy, would you like us to bring you a doll to play with? If you'd like us to bring you a doll, can you please set that blue light off again? I'm gonna grab the doll right now.
We're gonna get you a doll.
I'm gonna grab it right now, dude.
We're gonna get you a doll. Why don't you turn that blue light on?
Thank you for doing that for us.
Okay, little girl. We brought you a doll. We got you a doll here. Would you like to come up and grab that doll? I'm sorry, you may be an adult man. I don't mean to sit here and talk to you like a child if you're a man. And if you're a child, I don't mean to speak to you like an adult. So can we kind of base some kind of a system here to where we can kind of speak and know who you are? If you're a child, can you please set that light off again, please? If you're a man, can you set it off? If you're a woman, can you set it off? If you're a woman, can you set it off?
The investigation proved that the dark past of this century-old inn is very alive still today. Our visit was eventful, and the reports of ghostly happenings were confirmed. But though we may check out, some guests of the Glen Tavern Inn remain indefinitely.